Hey guys, Anthony, 4x4 Diesel. This is our 2019 150 Prado. It's just gone past the 30,000 kilometre mark, so give you a bit of an idea what condition the engine bay's in. And you hear a lot of talk about dusted airboxes and airboxes leaking and stuff like that. And I'm certainly not the expert on it. We see a lot of older vehicles, you know, Toyota dealers seem to see the newer ones. And of course we specialise in Prados and stuff like that. The older ones keep us busy, and the fuel system specialist work, what happens under these covers, is mainly what keeps us busy. What this one I want to show you is, as I promised I would, at some point I did a video and we discussed the air filters and how we've been applying a grease to the seal for years, particularly to the four-wheel drives that get used off-road, and it makes a massive difference. So it's time to get in this airbox at 30,000 Ks and have a look. I can't remember what videos we've done. We may have done one early days. We may have had a look at it at 10 or 15 or 20,000 to see if there was dust on the clean side. And at some point around there, if I remember correctly, could have been not until the 10 or 15K to see if we could tell the difference, or we might have applied grease the day we picked up the vehicle, actually, because it makes sense. We do use the vehicle off-road. Just to give you a bit of background, it hasn't done a lot, you know, COVID-19, 2020, hasn't done a lot of trips, but it's done one WA trip from Victoria, so one approximate 8,000 kilometre trip, mainly along the south coast, all the back dirt roads, Balladonia and all that sort of thing, through to Esperance and Esperance beaches, stuff like that. It's done a outback New South Wales trip with this same air filter. It's been in the high country, it's been to Robe, on the beaches there, that sort of thing. So not massive amounts of dust, but it has been out in the high country. It's done some day trips here and there on dirt roads. So typically, anyhow, it's done probably as much off-road or more than what most people would do anyway. So I'd suggest if you're having massive dust problems, maybe you need to look at not sitting right behind the vehicle in front of you, or maybe I'm wrong. Let's get in this airbox and have a bit of a look-see what's going on and how dirty it is on the inside of the box. Give me a sec, I'll open it up and come back to you. I've just undone the clips. We may have even done another video cleaning the MAF sensor or something like that, where we had a look at the clean side of the airbox. This little indicator here, it's pink on the 1KDs, it's blue on the 1GDs. Gives you an indication of how dirty the air filter is, and you can clean that when you clean the air filter if you like. You know, blow some of the dust out, or you can even turn it around. It goes two ways. So now it's just a matter of, it's a little bit harder to, it's a bit hard to do this one-handed, simply because it is. So what I'm going to do is put this camera in a tripod. Here we go. Alright, so just gently, so we've got the, I just want to point out, we've got the compressor mounted behind, so it does reduce the clearance a little bit. So let's have a look. Okay, so I can probably see better than you. You can see the grease on the perimeter helping with the seal, but as I've said in other videos, this diesel engine is going to pull whatever air it needs. So once the element becomes blocked and the air can't get through as much, it's certainly going to come through the element. Now, as far as around the edges goes, there's no way it's been leaking. I can see that grease seal, right, all the way around the whole perimeter, and there's no way, maybe, I'm speaking before I've checked it properly, so I'm just getting down there having a look. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take my words back and tell you that in this corner here, there is, see this bit of dust here? I'm going to just come around and have a look and see what you can see, maybe zoom it in a bit. Yeah, you got a pretty good view there, I like that, that's good. Jeez, I set that up well, didn't I? Right, so we're getting a little bit more. But it's certainly not a lot of dust, and we've seen a lot more in other engines over the last decades. So it's not enough to cause any issues, that's for sure. But I'm just going to do this. I don't know how well you can see that, but it's very light, and there's less over this side. Most of it seems to be over this side, and that corner there, right? There's definitely a leak going on there, right? Hang on, yeah, so there's grease here, right? So I promise you, all the people that talk about, you know, the quality and the tightness of, and all this sort of thing, whatever the problem may be with the plastic airboxes coming from Toyota, it's true. It's absolutely true. Is it a big problem? I don't know. I'm going to look at this airbox. This is all happening live. Have I analysed, looked at this before, looked at other vehicles? Not really. We see a bit of dust. I take a bit of notice what's going on. We add the grease. That definitely helps seal things up. And what's going to happen at the end of this, most likely, I'm going to put a little bit more in that corner there, but maybe we need to go a little bit thicker with the grease. The grease definitely works. If there's an issue with these filters leaking, I can tell you, I've seen all sorts of things, right? When an air filter, when you've got someone that sits behind the vehicle in front of them in the dust and it just gets absolutely rammed full of dust, the engine needs the air, so it pulls it through anyway, or it pulls it past the seal. And I've seen them where this is caked in dust, even with grease there, because the engine has just sucked so hard to pull whatever it can, and it's actually easier to come through there past that grease. That's not a design fault. That's not a problem. You needed a new air filter long ago. If you're going to do that, carry a big box, a big carton of air filters on your trip. You need to get out of the dust. Okay, so this is actual fact what's happening here right now. This side here, not too bad, okay? Not too bad. As we get to that side, it's a little bit worse. If I look around the whole perimeter, the grease has made contact everywhere, except for that corner there where you can see the evidence marks just here on the inside. Now you can see a bit of dust along there as well. I don't know what's going on there because it hasn't come past. That would almost say that, you know, it's pulling it through the air filter. We're about to lift the air filter out and have a look and see how dirty it is. We haven't seen that yet, but hopefully you're all agreeable with what I'm trying to demonstrate, and that is this side's, it's certainly not bad. There's not an issue here. But it appears there's a slight not quite sealed there, because I can touch it, that's bone dry, but there's definitely grease at this corner here where that corner goes on, right? See, wet. I don't know if you can see that, I hope you can. So look, it's time to get the air filter out. I should have brought a rag over, but I didn't. All right, and let's just have a look and see what that's like, so you know what you're dealing with, right? Give us a sec, we're going to have a look at the bench now. Here we are, we're over at the bench. I haven't put the air filter down yet, I'm just holding it here, right? I've got it in my hand. And I'm just looking at the grease all the way around the perimeter, except for a couple places where I've touched it, where it's taken most of it off. So what we're going to do now is, firstly, prove the point about the grease, that it's there on the seal, okay? So you got that in the picture. I'm just going to sit that there like that, give it a little press, just like as if the clips had been done up. They should apply a little bit of pressure, and then take that away. Obviously I didn't press hard enough because, you know, the bench is probably bent, right? But you can see even in those corners, the main thing is the corner evidence, because it was the corner, if you remember, where the filter had been sucking some dust past there. So I wouldn't worry too much about there and there. That's probably mainly imperfection in the bench. We could get out a ruler and prove that. But the main thing we wanted to show you also was, it's quite a dirty air filter. Even though we stay out of the dust, we're often leading the trips. You get a lot of cars going the other way, you catch up to people. That was due to be changed a while ago. I've purposely left it there, and you might look at that and go, oh, it's not too bad. You want to have a closer look? You can have a closer look, okay. Right, let's get in there. Right, there you go. It's in your face now. That is filthy. Okay, let's get we've got a new one here. Anyone want the part number for the genuine, for the 150 Prado with a 1GD, as it says there? There's the number, right. Let's get it out and have a look at it. And compare the pair. Let's compare the pair. I mean, you know, chalk and cheese, isn't it? I don't even know if I want to even put it in the same picture, in the same area. I mean, here we go, right? You get the picture, right? Absolutely chalk and cheese. I'm not putting the new one anywhere near that mess, right? So the point is, remember the old ads on TV, Toyota, keep the advantage, the O2 advantage, air. The engine needs to breathe, okay? So am I going to blame that contact point? Well, slightly yes. Yes, because it didn't make contact and it was leaking. Absolutely, that's not good enough really. So this video is probably going to be called, it's true, those Toyota airboxes do leak, or something like that, because this is what we've just found, right? Absolutely, but it was only a little bit. Now what are we going to do? We're going to go a bit heavier on the grease on this one. We've got another 30,000 Ks. Look, I might get sick of leaving an air filter till it's this dirty, but the engine's still running well, it's not blowing smoke, we're getting reasonably good economy, nothing's changed. So that would say it's breathing okay, this is not too bad. I can tell you right now, it's not too good either. Okay, stuff like that. If you're out in dust and that, you do need to change your filter during or straight after the trip, and maybe clean that map sensor also. So, without too much further ado, let's have another quick look under the airbox. It's true, Toyota air filter boxes leak. And you know what? I never saw this with the 1KDs, other air boxes. As much as air filter boxes, I'll be quite honest, they do feel sloppy and all that sometimes, but you know what? They didn't leak unless, like I said, there's reasons. The element's blocked, it's got to pull the air, so it's going to pull the air through the element, bring some dust, around the edges and bring some dust. So you've got to change it regularly as well. You've got to know how dirty it is, right? You've got that little indicator there. Now, so looking here, I've got the grease mark all the way, sealed really well, except for that little area there. There's like dust on the grease again. That was on the dirty side, so at the bottom. So it tells us there's not enough pressure being applied really at that clip. A little bit more at that clip. There's not enough squash going on, right? So just to demonstrate again here, right? Very light over this side, right? The worst of it, definitely, I'd say definitely not leaking or not visible to be leaking anywhere around this side. That side looks good. It's that bottom corner there. Let this be anyone's evidence. There's no contact from the air filter from that point of the end of my fingernail there through to there. So it's only a small area, and you can see the dust where it's come through. Look, I'm going to wipe it now for the first. I'm going to get the rag now. This is what I'm going to do. We need to start fresh with everyone. So I'll tell you what we're going to do with this one, right? We're going to clean it up. We're going to give it a good clean up. We're going to blow it. We're going to wipe it. I'm going to take all the grease off, whatever, right? We're going to give it a good clean up. We're going to give it a good greasing. I'm going to give this a bit of a squash, right? Just to get another couple of millimetre out of it so there's a little bit more pressure. I might fiddle around with that a bit. I'm not going to do a lot. So it's just small problems and little fixes. It's not a big deal. It's not the end of the world. It shouldn't happen. Certainly shouldn't happen. And I think, you know, Toyota, if they haven't already, need to be made aware of this, and perhaps there needs to be a recall or a customer service exercise, maybe with some replacement clips, right? So anyway, you get the drift of what we're doing. We're going to clean it up so all the evidence of the previous leaking is gone, because we've got the evidence in this video anyway, right? Evidence-based videos, guys. Subscribe so you get to see the truth. Real world, accurate testing, not this might be happening, that might be happening with no, and we just show you a whole heap of mess. Controlled environment, we know exactly what this vehicle's done, okay? You can see what's happening in the video. It's clean, right? We're going to clean the bottom as well. I've got a slightly dirtier rag, right? So we're going to clean the bottom half, right, with a dirtier rag, and then we're going to clean it with a clean rag, and it is pretty nice and clean in that airbox there, right? So that's good. We do give that a bit of a clean out every now and then. You know, like when we had it out to clean the MAF sensor, a little, might have been 20,000 Ks or something like that, 10,000 Ks, whenever it was, I don't know. It's probably in a video, because I'm probably going to use this vehicle as an example to show you. Anyway, that's clean. That's clean. We've got a clean air filter. We're going to grease it up. We're going to pop it in. We know this is the trouble corner here, right? We'll call this the trouble corner, closest to the coolant bottle on the Prado 1GD. When we start to see these in service, we're going to be taking a lot more notice of what's going on. And if you guys have unfortunate enough to have not heard me say stick with the 1KD last of the best, and you've got a 1GD, do as I say, not as I do, by the way, I'll just remind you. If you got a 1GD and you're changing your own air filter at any time or checking it, even if you're taking it to Toyota for service, whatever your cap service, whatever it is, do yourself a favour, open it up and see. It needs to be a really sort of controlled environment though, you know, no maybes. It needs to be accurate information. Please put in the comments with what your findings are. So we're about done here, I think. So you can see the results of it. You know how to change an air filter. We've shown you that in videos. We're going to put grease on the seal, as I said. That's it. Bada bing. If you haven't already, subscribe, turn the bell on so you get the next update when we do the next air filter clean and show you the real evidence. And yeah, in the comments if you've had this issue yourself, and if you know for sure which corner it's been leaking, try and describe which corner and what the fix was. Did you just tighten up the clamp? Did you add a bit of grease? Was enough for yours? Because obviously it's not enough on this one. Thanks for watching, guys. Bada bing, catch ya. Bada boom. All right.